In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about help side defense in the man-to-man sets that you'll be running. So basically, there's a lot of players these days who have not fully been taught the man-to-man defense. There's over 900 different things that you need to learn about that defense. And we as coaches are just merely teaching players only a zone defense. We need to be able to teach them both. By the way, go check out my Unbeatable Basketball Zone Defense book down in the description below. So I'm going to be giving you on a clipboard how I like to teach my team. So I like to set my team up with 5 offensive players and then have them match up with defenders. You can call this a shell drill as well. But basically what we'll be looking at having is whoever has the ball on them, that defender is going to be on ball. He's going to be playing very aggressive, tight defense. Players 2 and 3 are going to be doing one of two things. They could be playing very tight deny, not allowing this player to get that ball, depending on who that player really is. Or they could be one step away with, in this case, their right arm facing up, kind of in a deny style, and of course their other arm out like this, out towards the left side. You want to have both of your hands up because now if you're looking in this direction, this arm here is going to let you know if this player tries to cut back door when you're not necessarily paying attention to him. You should be basically looking here so that you can see, of course, with your peripheral, your man as well as the ball, but not all players have that ability with eyesight. So having your arm up basically in the lane will let you know when he tries to cut. The players defending the corners will be 2 passes away or 2 steps away because they are 2 passes away. So basically, let's say that's 1 step, this would be roughly 2 steps. You're in the side of the key. If this ball gets passed around, we would then at this point have player 5 guarding that block as well as player 2 guarding that high post. Player 4 would then move in to be in deny essentially because he's 1 pass away, and player 1 would be the exact same. Player 3 would then be man on. However, what happens when player 3, let's say, drives or attacks the rim and gets past his man? A lot of the times you may see a mistake happen where player 4 comes in, which leaves his man wide open, and that's a very easy pass, and you do not want to see that happen. That's a massive mistake. What you want to see is player 5 moving over from the opposite side to take that charge or to contest that shot. At this time, we would then have player 2 move down and player 1 now move to the high post, guarding both of these positions. At this time, we would then have essentially a double team on player 3 if player 5 was unable to get that block. This kick-out pass should be intercepted by player 2, and a kick-out pass to either one of these 2 players should be intercepted by player 1. Obviously, this is a much tougher pass than this, and a much tougher pass than this, as long as those 2 players are defending them properly. If, however, that ball does make its way out to player 5, at this time, we need to run an off-ball switch, where now essentially player 2 would be guarding player 5, player 1 would be guarding, of course, the top man and deny, player 4 would move down into help, and now depending on the coach, personally, the player who played help, in my opinion, should be the one who moves up to guard player 1, and now player 3 is still guarding player 3 blue. Personally, that's how I like to run it. I have, however, seen coaches who have ran it because player 5's going towards that rim and still in contention, player 3 would then cover top. Personally, I don't play it that way. I was never taught that way, but I have seen coaches teach it that way. So going with how I like to teach it, player 5 would then be the one who's guarding, and of course, we would then have player 3 still guarding player 3 blue. Let's say he clears out, and we have player 5 drive from the corner. Of course, if he's driving towards that left side, player 1 could technically try to take a stab at him with his obviously outstretched arm. This, however, could be a bad decision because, of course, this could be a quick pass out. The only time this would be a good time to go down and try to poke that ball free is if it's only 1 step away. If you just need to do a quick pivot 1 step away to reach in, then you can do it. If you need to take 2 or 3 steps to get in there, that's too far, and player 2 is going to be wide open for the 3. When player 5 does attack that rim at this point, player 4 needs to move in and try to cut that off. Player 3 would then move down, again guarding player 4. Player 5 is going to move down, of course, again guarding players 3 and 1. At this time, this should be either a charge or a turnover, hopefully, or a missed shot. However, what happens if that drive comes from the point, or what happens if that drive comes from the high post? So if, for example, player 1 is driving towards this left side, technically the same would be in effect if it was from the high post. If player 1 was driving towards this side, I would prefer player 4 to come out to try to cut that off and player 3 moving down, because that's a very large distance for player 5 to recover to, and of course that could be the proper decision. We could have player 5 move all the way over. However, now this could be a bad decision because we could have, if player 2 doesn't rotate down fast enough, player 5 coming from the weak side, and that could be a bad decision. It's up to you as a coach, really, but personally, if the drive is coming from the point, at that point, we would then have player 4 move in to try to cut that off, and player 3 slightly move down, guarding both positions. If that pass goes out to player 4, that's when player 3 would recover out, and player 4 would then be recovering back or switching out to player 3. Now that's the man they're going to be covering. There are over 900 different tactics or different skills that you're going to need when it comes to man-to-man defense. There's a lot of things that go on with a man-to-man defense. However, I hope that this video can help you when it comes to help side and, of course, the switches that you'll need to do. This is how I like to teach my team, and we've been pretty successful running the man-to-man defense throughout my multiple years of coaching. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.